Hey guys, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Pod of War Games Cast. I'm your host, EOF Gizmo, joined by Xbox Live's CW Lanky.
Hello.
And PSN's Massive Das Chris Pengelly.
Hello.
So it's a big episode this week. It's the big one. It's the one everyone wanted. You know, who gives a shit about Game Pass? It's all about PlayStation this week. Craig's excited. He's going to flip his fucking shit.
I should have a PlayStation hoodie on, but it is like... I don't know how hot it is. It was pretty hot.
It's pretty warm.
In Wellington, it's very warm, you know, because the sun is shining on it all the time.
It's mostly not going to be. No, it's not going to be as hot as I think.
On those cobbled streets, man. Those cobbled streets.
It's pretty warm. 21 apparently, according to this. So.
There we go. That's the weather with Chris Pengelly. So thank you for watching now. So guys, another week. Obviously, we're going to be talking mostly PlayStation this week. So let's do what we always do. Let's talk about what we've been buying and playing. So obviously, we'll leave Chris for last. So let's start with the big man, CW Langster. What have you bought this week?
Let's get the little bit of Xbox out the way, shall we?
As quick as possible, and we'll be fine.
Just get it done. So I haven't bought anything. All I've played, it's been 2 weeks since we've recorded, and I cannot remember what I had started last time. So I will say I've finished 12 minutes now.
We just done our last episode was Psychonauts 2. You were about halfway.
Yeah. So I finished Psychonauts 2. Now that game is great. If you haven't played it yet, you need to go and play it. Like Davey, amazing levels in that throughout. It ends really well. Moving on, 12 minutes. Finished that. I think last time I'd started playing this, and then I gave up, I believe. I went back to it. Yeah, still wasn't into it. I thought I was about halfway through. I thought I'm going to try and finish this properly. Did 2 more times loops and was like, I cannot be asked with this. This is dirt. So I decided I would just look at the Macca guide. I pretty much deleted my save and started again and just used the Macca guide. And it was actually quite good fun playing it through with the guide because the story in the game is quite good and has some quite cool things in it. But everything around actually playing it is just tedious. So I think the guide is like an hour and 45 minutes to get the 100% completion. So that's basically what I did. I've actually quite enjoyed playing it like that, but I wouldn't recommend just trying to play it properly because it is dirt. So I got the completion of that, so that's quite cool. After that, I played some. I'm literally using true achievements. I can't remember. Boyfriend Dungeon, which I started and have finished this week. Obviously very much just a dungeon crawler, very classic to that, like Minecraft Dungeons or something like that. Its unique twist is you date the weapons, which is kind of cool, kind of interesting. A lot of controversy on this game because people are absolute morons, but ignore all that and just play the game because it's very fun. It does weirdly, so you think this is going to be a bit grindy because it's like a dungeon crawling game, and yeah, those games sort of tend to be grindy, but the most grindy thing I found was actually dating the weapons, because some of it just goes on for on and on and on, to the point where I was even got to the end, I was just skipping the dialogue because I couldn't be asked to read and listen to it all. I finished it. I managed to get you level up your weapons, and more you date with them, more you use them, all this good stuff. I managed to get all the weapons. I think there's 6 to the top level because there was achievements for doing all of it. We get them all to the highest level. Got all the achievements for that. There's an achievement for getting all of them to the highest level, which annoyingly has bugged on me and did not pop. So I cannot get that achievement now, which kind of sucks. I know this game launched with 2 or 3 broken achievements. There's a thing on True Achievements saying that that's been fixed. But unfortunately, it sounds like this one is now broken. So just be aware of that if you are a completionist sort of person, that you may get screwed over like I did.
I patched it since, and you're still in popping or something.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully they can patch it, and then I just load the game up and it automatically pops. But that's a perfect world, isn't it? So yeah, I played that. Really enjoyed that. Would recommend it if you're into that sort of thing. Definitely, it's not too long.
Because I saw it before. I seen like it was on just on PC, like a playthrough. It looked quite interesting. Obviously, it's on Game Pass, but I thought it was a bit of a roguelite. So how's it like in those elements?
So I don't think it massively is. It's only a roguelite in the sense that if you go into a dungeon, if you die in the dungeon, you keep everything that you've gathered and all the XP and that, and then you would have to start again. But there's like 12 floors in each dungeon, and there's like elevators to certain floors. So let's say you get to the 5th floor, you unlock the elevators. Then when you go back in, if you die, you can go straight to the 5th floor. You don't have to start.
So it's slightly different because from like Hades, you get so far you die and then you're back from the very start.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried when I first started playing this that it would be like that, and that I would have to start the dungeon from the 1st floor every time and grind all my way through. But it's not. There are elevators and that sort of thing, so it's not as a pain in the ass as you think it's going to be initially if you die. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, that's that done. And then the only other thing I've played this week is a load more of Art of Rally. I've really been getting into this last week or so. I've done the 2nd or 3rd of the like eras now. Basically, it's before the big Group B era. I've just started that. So I've done that. Used my trusted like M3 to just kind of actually was doing fairly well, finishing like top 1 or 2 in most of the events. But now I'm onto like the classic like Group 3 rallies, which are just like ridiculously powerful. I've only done a couple of races and I'm like all over the place at the moment, but hopefully I'll get a little bit better. Yeah, still loving that game. It's great. It's actually really weird. I've been playing it and kind of get so used to playing that weird like isometric view that if I load up like Forza or something like that, playing like a normal racing game in a normal racing game view now feels really strange. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, that's it from me.
That's not bad. So Game Pass, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, a load of Game Pass indies basically. I wanted to try and start another one in the Artful Escape as well, because it sounds like that's an easy completion that looks really good, but I haven't had a chance to start that yet.
I mean, there's plenty of time there. So like we were talking off the air, you still got probably 2 months until the big game, which is Forza Horizon.
Yep.
Although we have had the huge Game Pass news that Football Manager 20, both the full edition and the Xbox edition, are coming day 1 to Game Pass, Craig. So you
That's
no
crazy,
longer have an excuse.
I'm sure you're very excited about that. Is
I'm
it
very
just
excited.
the Xbox edition, or is it
No,
the
it's both.
PC? Oh, there you go. You can just jump straight in then.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
so.
Are we going to play the proper PC version? Or
I like the Xbox
version?
version because it's a little simpler and it's a bit easier to play multiplayer. So I'll be playing that day 1 with a group of people. Hopefully, maybe even you guys, which would be fun. Even just the draft or something. We could do a video us doing a draft. That'd be pretty funny. But yeah. So Football Manager Game Pass. Got a shout out. It's going to be Game of the Year, so we might as well talk about it now. Before we get to the biggest of dogs, we'll talk about my very brief gaming stint this week because I've been very busy with life. So I've really only played Halo Master Chief Collection. I've been playing that with some friends at work, getting back in the multiplayer. We played like 4 to 10 hours this week. The game's just a lot of fun. Like it's amazing how far that collection has come since its launch, because it's now a viable way to play all the games. The multiplayer's really fun. Even the little free battle pass thing's actually pretty cool. It's got challenges and stuff as well now. So yeah, I've been playing some Halo in. Again, let's get the Xbox chat out the way. But yeah, if you've somehow got an Xbox and haven't played Halo, the Master Chief Collection is simply a must. So there we go. And now, without further ado, what everyone's been waiting for, why you all tuned in for this, Chris Pengelly, what have you purchased / played this week? Now, what I need you to do, Chris, is I need you to not include any less than an hour or 2 hour demos or little things. Okay, let's just go for the main meat.
It actually isn't that much. I haven't actually played that much.
Shock. Right, go on then. What have you bought? Let's start with that.
I was going to go what we played. So I played on Xbox, Big Con. So I picked that up and finished that. Didn't go for the completion, so Craig would be upset on that. Yeah, it was quite an enjoyable game. It's about a tenner. So it's not on Game Pass, even though it's an Xbox console exclusive. So I don't know if it's timed or not, but it's not on Game Pass. But it's pretty good. For tenner, the art style is a bit like Doug, the Nickelodeon show. Maybe a little bit too simple, like the one the very start. You need to steal some money to get enough money to buy some bus tickets. You need to steal $10, and the first person you pickpocket, I had $23 on them. I was like, well, that was easy. And there's a few things like that where it's a little bit too simple, but it's decent enough story along the way, and obviously the big con at the end of it. So
no one has played this game. On True Achievements, it's had 129 players.
Wow.
which is tiny.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, again, because like all the stuff like you've named on Game Pass, people just like totally miss this because it is, you know,
It
pretty.
needs to go on Game Pass, doesn't it? Like
Yeah,
nobody's buying
or
that game. Clearly.
possibly on sale, but like the tenner isn't really that sort of much. But yeah, however, a sale might help it, or Game Pass. Then they played another Xbox console exclusive, and that was Lake, which we did put a video up of this, of me having a day delivering some parcels. And I quite liked it, because it's reviewed pretty badly, and it is pretty buggy. Longer you played it, like longer your sessions got played, like the buggier it became. It was like sort of really sort of like weird. Like there's a few times where I posted the mail and then the mail was like floating in the air of like where it should be in the post box. I'm like, okay, that's weird. But I really enjoyed it. I actually got the completion on this. One of them was when I played it was a pretty rare achievement. It was one of the endings and stuff like that, because you have to do couple of things during the game to get that ending compared to the other two endings and stuff. And I sort of got that one like naturally, how I was playing it and some of the choices I made with the like townsfolk and stuff like that. So yeah, I quite enjoyed that sort of thing. And then I actually did start Artful Escape the other day. I played about an hour of it. Really nice art style. The music, you get, I guess, sort of from like the name and theme of the game is really good as well. It's like you're like this folk singer type dude, but you really want to be playing like rock music and stuff like that. Yeah, and it's got like Carl Weathers is like one of the voice actors of like the main sort of like rocker dude and stuff like that. And it's got a few like Jason Schwartzman's one of the voice actors. I don't think I've ever seen his character, or I can't figure out who his character is. So it's like a good voice cast. This is an Annapurna published game, so you go in like 12 minutes and stuff like that. So they're getting people like that doing voice acting and stuff. It's pretty, it's pretty good. From the hour I've played, I was playing it just before the PlayStation Showcase. I thought, oh, what can I play for a bit? So I started that. So that's what I played on Xbox since the last episode on 2 weeks ago. So
let's get that shit out of the way, am I right, Chris? Let's talk about what you want to talk about.
Right, so I'm not going to lift it up, but the easiest way to show it is with a DualSense. So I've picked up a PS5.
Well done, you're on to number 2 already?
Well, yeah, but I only number 2 because the first one's broken. It's
still 2.
It's not like I've bought one and traded it in and done something silly like I have done with my Switches. Yeah, so I picked up a PS5. First game, because it came with no games, so I had like a weird bundle. So the first day I got it, especially I was so busy that day, I played some Astro's Playroom. I've now finished Astro's Playroom. Haven't gone for the Platinum yet. I'm only missing like 5 or 6 trophies, so I will go for the Platinum. Really good. Obviously, I've only really played Miles, the last one where I managed to play that, and this is obviously so far the best PS5 game I've played is Astro's Playroom. Really good platformer, like we've talked about, like Psychonauts 2 and stuff like that. Astro's Playroom was this year, it definitely been like the talk of like best platformer, especially if I played it last year. Obviously, it's just on the short side. It's like 2 hours if you just play it. You get a little bit more out of it if I go for the Platinum and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like 2 hours long, but it's like a free sort of built-in thing, and it's like a really good use of the DualSense and showing you like how the triggers work and the haptic feedbacks and stuff. It really reminds me of like Wii Sports, like how Wii Sports showed off how like the Wii Mote, and this now shows off the DualSense. So really good. And obviously the studio is now like the big studio. Studio Japan's now gone. It's now them. So hopefully we get a proper like 8-10 hour platformer starring Astro instead of like, because obviously the game before was the VR one, which was long for a VR game but short in context of games. So hopefully we get a proper Astro game from them next, like, you know, a 10-hour sort of thing, because definitely could be expanded on. And you know, all the PlayStation like fan service in that game, like, look, it's a PS1 memory card and stuff like that. I remember that. So Really good.
Yeah, so I've platinumed Astro because I also have a PlayStation. Craig hasn't, so he's okay. Bless him. He's going to be very quiet for the next hour. I think Astro is probably the best game I've played on PS5 so far in the 8 months I've had it, or something like that, right? But cool. So obviously, did you buy anything else? Did you get Ratchet
Yeah,
as well?
because my bundle came with an extra controller which was in white. If it was the red one, or the black one, I would have kept it. But I don't really want 2 white ones. I would have wanted another color, and it came with the camera, so I traded them in. So the next day after the PS5 came, I went into town. PS5 selection not fantastic in both places where we got a decent trade in. It was like, oh look, it's Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, and that's basically my selection of what I could get. So I picked up with my trade in 2 not PS5 games, because obviously I had something like 60 quid trade in or something like that. So I got Jak 3 on PS2, Terraria on Vita, because you never have enough Vita games. Am I right? Because I obviously had like 60 quid trade in, I did get a PS5 game because it was like the only one there that wasn't like Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty, and obviously it's the big one that I wanted to play, and that's Ratchet and Clank. I've played up to where you get to control Rivet at the start. I'm playing it in, because it's got a lot of options, I'm playing it in the performance ray tracing mode. So it's still like 60 frames and has ray tracing and stuff on like that, but it's 1440p instead of like 4K and stuff. There obviously is 2 other options and stuff like that. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's one of the best looking games I've played, and the controller with the triggers, like how you use the shotgun type weapon, with you can do your single shot with 2 weapon, really good. Obviously I'm not that far in it. This is like the game I'm going to be playing mainly at the moment. If the rest of the game is as good as it is, most probably will be my game of the year from what I've played so far. It's just if the rest of the, let's say I've played 2 hours, the other 10 hours is as good as what I've played of it. So really good. But because I only got 1 PS5 game, went to game, like I said, somewhere where I wouldn't get a decent trade in, but they had a really good PS5 selection. They had some of the weird ones, like you can't drive this, and what's this, like Poker Club and stuff.
So the trash that I talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they had some of those, like those weird ones, and then like they had like Guilty Gear, which I was tempted to get, but it was 50 quid. I was like, yeah, not getting Guilty Gear.
Cheap for a PS5 game.
But I got for 30, I got Aliens Fireteam. Just because it's something different. Because I was looking at Pathless as well, but it's another colourful action, eventually platformy thing. You know, going from Astro to Ratchet, and then to Pathless, then the Kena Bridge of Spirits later this month. So I thought, let's just go for good old shooty bang bang. You know, shoot the aliens and stuff like that. I've done. There's like 4 campaigns in the game, so I've done the first one that's on the ship. Yeah, actually quite good. It doesn't really use the dual sense though, like the triggers aren't different from the shotgun to the assault rifle. The haptics are okay, but not fantastic. It could have done more with the controller from what I played, but yeah, it was, like I said, 30 for a PS5 game, you know, sort of thing. And I have one other PS5 game which came yesterday, which I swapped from Xbox to PS5, and that is Life is Strange True Colors. So, which came yesterday, so I haven't played Life is Strange yet.
So, Pony Chris is back, boys and girls. So you'll be getting a lot more Pony talk with Chris.
And from what I've seen from, I think Maka, one of the Power something, one of the PlayStation Trophy goes, it's a easy doable 1000G or platinum.
Of course it is.
So that will be PS5 platinum soon. So yeah, that is my PS5.
How much is Life is Strange?
That was 50.
It was 50.
Yes, like I said, I was getting it on Xbox. I've had it pre-ordered for a while. I was a big fan of the series, and I just changed the order from Xbox to PS5.
So now the Xbox is dead, Chris.
I don't know, obviously, if it uses the dual senses and stuff like that for the abilities that Alex has, and stuff. So I'll see if that has that or not.
Lovely.
That's
stuff.
a lot for Life is Strange, isn't it? They really are trying their best there.
Yeah, there's 2 more expensive versions digitally. One will come with the remasters of Life is Strange and Before the Storm, and one's like a middle deluxe edition as well. Physical is only like the standard version, and you can pay if you want to upgrade it to the digital deluxe version where it comes with the Wavelengths DLC. And then obviously you would have to buy the remastered separately in February or whenever it's coming.
So not had a massive amount of players on True Achievements, which doesn't surprise me at that price.
Not for that price. And even the remasters, I think, is 35. I think on their own.
Yeah, because the fancy digital versions, like I think it's like 85 or something like that, which obviously it's cheaper than buying the 2 separately, but it's obviously quite a few pounds if you go for that. Which, like I said, is only available digitally. That one.
Especially when you can get those games for like £2 every time they go on sale.
Yeah, like the middle one that comes with the Wavelengths DLC, which is a £10 upgrade, or is £10 like more digitally. It's not too bad, because you get some costumes and stuff for Alex's. Well, and obviously it's got new content for this, which is coming the end of September, I think.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff. So obviously, Chris is back on the PlayStation train, so that's exciting for him. Craig will soon be the only Xbox player left in all of the world, because Chris is taking back over. But anyway, speaking of PlayStation, it's the topic of the show, boys and girls. Sorry, I got shit in my eye for a second. Of course, this week we have had a PlayStation showcase, so we're gonna go through those through the games they showed, and then we're gonna obviously talk about our thoughts at the end. I suspect there'll be differing thoughts. Actually, no, there's one more thing, Craig. You almost let me forget. Chris, let's talk about getting your PS4 saves on your new PS5.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that.
We forgot. We haven't talked about this. Yeah.
Well, you asked what I've been playing.
Yeah,
you didn't ask how my PS5
Chris has kept this very, very quiet on purpose.
No, I've not, because I have been tweeting
selective
about it,
editing. You would call that.
And I've had a few likes.
Well, let's get into the experience then, Chris.
Right, come on, Chris. Let's talk me through getting your, for example, your Final Fantasy VII remake save that you'd completed the game. Let's talk about getting that from PS4 to your PS5 now.
I don't have a Final Fantasy VII PS4 save.
And why not?
Because the PS4 or the last PS5 did not send the save to the cloud.
Oh, so it didn't do it automatically?
No, which is kind of weird, because I have my save for Miles. I had what little I played of Astro, and I weirdly had some save for Sackboy, even though I didn't play it. That was very weird. So they got updated. But the stuff I transferred over from my PS4, which I thought was again on the cloud, because I used the USB stick as well. I found my USB stick, which seemed to have nothing on it. So
what year is it, Craig?
So I don't know if my PS5 last one deleted it or something when I transferred it over or something. I don't know. I tried 4 years. I was like, it's definitely this one. Nope, it's not this one. I'm going to try every USB stick I got. So yeah, I have no Final Fantasy VII save.
Did you cancel your Plus at any point?
I did, but like I said, I had Plus when I had my first.
Yeah, because doesn't it cancel cloud after a certain amount of time?
Yeah, because it's part of Plus. But like I said, I'm pretty sure I transferred my saves over. I had Plus when I had my last PS5, and the Sackboy, Astro, and Miles saves are there. So Plus it must have updated, last time. So I don't know why I didn't update the PS4 games last time. So I have saves for about 200 PS4 games, which sounds an awful lot. But there is stuff
in the context of how many games you've played. It's not. It's like maybe half.
But it does mean like Final Fantasy VII remake. I don't have my save.
So you're gonna have to replay that whole game if you want the trophies.
Yes.
Oh no, what a shame. And also, Craig, let's not ever forget the separate trophy list as well. So you'll have to.
Yeah, this is the thing, because one of the like replies were like, "Well, the game's got update. If you're gonna like replay the game, surely you're gonna like replay the game. So it doesn't really like."
And this person
matter if you
doesn't know
unlock-
you, then, do they? If they've texted
doesn't
that to you?
unlock. I kind of get their like point to a bit.
That was a
It's
very
like,
good point.
Yeah, if I said to Craig, next week update to, well, Dave actually, because you're more likely to replay it. An update's coming to Sleeping Dogs, and it's adding ray tracing and stuff like that. You most would go back to it and start a new game
Potentially, but I suppose
potentially. I guess that's their sort of.
the question is: are you going to restart Final Fantasy VII?
No, I'm just going to play the
there we
DLC.
go.
So
you're gonna have like
So
3%
when you
trophies.
look at my trophies, you'd be like, "Oh, Master's only got 10% of these Final Fantasy VII remake trophy." Presses cross, looks at my trophy. He's got 0% in the main game. He's got 75% of the DLC, but he's not played the main game. That looks pretty weird.
You are really overestimating how many trophies you're going to get in that DLC, by the way, because they are not easy trophies.
Yeah, you'd be like, "That looks really weird." You press circle, you come out and like, "Well, he's played on PS4 though." And you'd be like, "Why didn't you transfer your saves over?"
So funny. So they still need to sort this their save system out. Like it's ridiculous.
That
That's
uses
even an
the
issue.
same save system that Square's always used, because I think I might mention it last time, because I think that's like when I had like a 5 Vita games or something like that. I did transfer my save to World of Final Fantasy on Vita, and that's how it works for that. So yeah, a bit.
It's just weird because on Xbox with World of Final Fantasy, for example, if you play it on PC and Xbox, it just does it automatically.
Yeah.
So they need to figure out a way. Like, all joking aside, like they need to fix this soon. And maybe it's a
because I
problem with
know-
the hardware or something stupid. Like how they've managed to do that, I don't know. But that needs to be fixed soon.
Yeah, well, Digital Foundry did their video on Ghost of Tsushima, and in that the save just loads, but you still have to have the save on the console.
Yeah.
Be that from a USB, you're transferring from your PS4. You plug the PS4 to your Xbox and stuff like that. Which
I
I've
never
done.
want to be plugging USBs in to do stuff like that.
Not in 2021, I don't.
No.
Which I've done myself. Like when I bought the Series X, I just plugged my Xbox One X into my Series X, so I could transfer like all my installed stuff and that right away. So it's the quickest way to do it. And obviously, or from the cloud. So look, if you've got your save of Ghost of Tsushima, it just works on PS5. For that, but again, you got to have your save, which I unfortunately don't have.
So lovely. So that's a little tangent. We'll continue to wind up Chris about this at some point in the next couple of months.
Not good after 12 almost 12 months at Xbox. It's not great,
No.
but it could be worse. But it could be Nintendo where you buy.
You know what?
50.
What's actually worse is that's not true, because Nintendo has cloud saves that now automatically update. So I have
You
to
say that, but I lost my Animal Crossing save and they didn't want it. So
Yeah, but that's your own fault.
and obviously if you were to rebuy a Switch game, you don't get your Wii U saves, do you? So
It's a weird comparison you're trying to make.
yeah.
you're trying to twist it so Sony doesn't sound so bad, but it's only a bad, Chris. Don't worry. Anyway,
I still think it.
Anyway, let's talk about the PlayStation Showcase. So they had a showcase on Thursday at 9 p.m. British Standard Time, and it was okay. But we'll go through the games and then we'll give our actual opinions. Okay, so we can get Craig involved. Obviously, Craig's been quiet for like 20 minutes. So without further ado, Chris, let's shoot. What did they show?
First game they showed was a Knights of the Old Republic remake.
They showed a CG trailer for about.
Game is a loose term for that.
Let's if we can get that counter in the bottom corner. So they showed a CG trailer for the Aspyr Media remake that's been leaked for months and months and months, and I believe this is PS5 and PC timed exclusive.
It's a weird one. Summer.
No one
places are just putting
knows.
time,
Yeah.
and no one really knows, because I had the press release, and Sony Computer Entertainment, not PlayStation Studios, are the publisher on PS5, and they are collaborating on the project. So that obviously means giving money.
They're publishing it.
Thing.
Yeah, which is what they did with Republic Commando. But I think the reason for that is there's already versions of those games on Xbox, and I have a feeling that might be the problem.
And the only other thing is maybe like an ex dev or that weird port team that they bought maybe helping out on it as well. That's because that weird port team aren't doing the port that was shown, which you'd think they would be doing them. So they got to be doing something. So maybe that's also what they're current. It's coming to PC as well, where the Aspyr, whatever they called, are self-publishing on PC.
Nice. What's next?
Project Eve.
Which looked like a weird Nier sort of game. I don't know what was the studio.
A Shift Up.
Okay, what have they done before?
They're South Korean.
Oh, okay. Because it looks kind of low budget, but also like okay. But yeah, it did just look like bootleg fucking Nier Automata, if I'm honest. Craig, did you have any opinion on
Devil
this?
May Cry / Nier, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think, like Chris said, it's one of those Asian studios, and you're thinking, is this game ever coming out? Is it?
Yeah, because there's been a lot of games, especially obviously this is South Korea, but especially in China, and that that's been shown a few times. Like there's that, and it's like that one that's based on like the monkey,
Black
like
Myth.
mythology, Black something that's been shown a load of times, and everyone's like, oh, this looks really good, but it's like they're just showing like the same 5 minutes all the time of it. So yeah, it's one of those weird ones. It could be good. It's the first time we've seen gameplay of it. I believe it's on everything. Oh, that one. Next is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands,
which is Borderlands Fantasy Edition.
Mm-hmm.
Did they announce the date for this as well?
I feel it's March.
Yeah.
I think it's like 22nd of March.
What they showed of this looked strange because I thought this would just be purely like melee Borderlands, but it looked like there was like guns and stuff like that, and it was a strange decision. So I thought melee Borderlands, like medieval, would be like or fantasy would be quite fun.
Yeah, or at least like bow and arrows and stuff. Yeah. Yes, not like a proper gun. But yeah,
it looks like DLC. I'm sorry, it looks like the pre-sequel. If you remember what they did with 2. But it's a full. Was it £55? Something like that.
Yeah,
£70,
and there's a next gen version which is 70.
Oof.
No, it's $64.99 for the next gen version, $54.99 for the last gen version or the current, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Xbox One 55, Series X 65.
It looks like it looked like Borderlands 3, but within a different thing. Too expensive for me. 100% too expensive for me. So, what about you, Craig?
Yeah, at launch definitely too expensive. Maybe something I'll play when it's cheaper.
Which it will be in time because they always those games always get cheap.
Yeah, and then it was Forspoken, which shown looked very good.
Yeah, so this is the Gary Whitta game, right? This is what I know from.
And Amy Hennig is working on it, and someone else is a very good writing team.
Yeah, it's like the writing team needs the writing needs to be like amazing. Really, that's like its selling point. It looks interesting. This game has looked different every time they've shown it. We had a bit more of a sort of story dump this time, and the new character and the kind of world they're going for. It looks interesting. It looks like a PlayStation game. So and I'm sure it'll be okay. So hopefully when we can get our hands on it, we can see if it's fun. But so that was probably the first really good looking game we saw, I think. And again, it's another one for next year, right?
Yeah, spring
next year, didn't they?
Yeah.
Spring 2022.
So that'll be delayed to at least Christmas, right? When we get to it.
Yeah, it could be.
I would not be shocked if that's 2023.
No, I mean that's all games at the minute, isn't it? Really.
Yep. And then it was Rainbow Six Extraction, which just needs to be shown everywhere for reasons.
It looks fun, but yeah, we've seen a lot of it, haven't we? So
yeah,
we saw more of the actual the ops having their abilities and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. They used the sledgehammer to like smash down the wall, and then the other ops do that sort of thing, which is kind of what we were saying we wanted. I think last time we spoke about this game. So the problem is going to be it's like there's so many of those games around in there, and trying to sell us one for however much it's going to be is going to be tough.
Yeah, very tough, I think.
Then there's Alan Wake Remaster,
which of course got leaked a couple days before.
And they even announced it properly a few days before as well.
Cool. Well, that's obviously was an Xbox exclusive. Obviously they own that IP now, Remedy, so they're re-releasing it. It looks slightly better graphically, and it is on everything. It's coming to Xbox as well. So, and I think that's this year, right? That's a this year game.
Yeah, it's October 4th, I believe.
So, again, if you haven't played Alan Wake, you've got a nice, easy new way to play it.
Then GTA 5 was shown, which is being delayed to March.
Cool. Whatever. That PS3 game.
I know I said talk about GTA a lot, but I guarantee in March I'll never be playing this again on next gen.
It'll be the best-selling game of the month.
Oh, of course it will.
Then it was Ghostwire Tokyo.
Which looks good. It'll be great in a year when it comes to Game Pass, but it doesn't look like a Dave game at all. It looks like a horror-y, shootery kind of thing. It looks cool.
It looks more like kind of magic powers. I thought when shooting. It looks interesting.
It looks like Skyrim-y, kind of in that kind of.
I think it's the most we've seen of the actual game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So far, looks really good. I think. Like I said, when this comes to Game Pass, it'll be definitely a day one.
Then it was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nice to show that again. They showed like the villain this time. That game looks fun still. So yes, again, it's coming out soon. Cool, we've seen it again.
Then Vampire Blood Hunt was shown, which is the battle royale set in the Vampire Masquerade universe.
See, I missed part of this. I just assumed this because there's another Vampire Masquerade 2 game. Is there something like that?
Of them.
There's about 27 of them.
Yeah, I got it confused for that and then realised that it wasn't. So, okay, it's a battle royale.
It's out on PC already, and obviously it's now coming to console. So
I'd imagine that's going to die very quickly.
I guess if it has cross-play or something, maybe, I don't know. Then it was Deathloop for the 757th time.
It's the irony of it being a loop of the same trailer. Cool.
When does this actually come out?
Like
it comes out Tuesday, and I've seen people who've already got reviewing it and that. And it is what I thought from someone. Obviously, they must be already talk about. They tweeted, it's like, oh, it's a fantastic roguelike. The Games Too Quick community are gonna love this, and they're gonna figure out how to do runs really quick and stuff like that. I'm like, right, that's me not bothered at all about that game. And obviously, it'll be on Game Pass in 12 months. It doesn't sound like my sort of game anyway, and yeah, it's going to be in Game Pass in 12 months if it is good. But even if it is good, it might be one I miss as well. So if you like roguelikes and doing things really quick and perfect runs and that will be for you, it sounds like.
It's weird because whenever they've been interviewed, they're like adamant that that's not what it is. So
yeah,
it'd be cool to actually in a year's time actually play this on Game Pass to see what it actually shapes up to be.
Yeah. Then we had I can't remember what the name was, but it's Radiohead doing something somewhere. It was like an interactive experience thing coming November. So
cool.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. And then we got Tchia or something like that. It's TCHIA.
Yeah.
Which
the
is sent
the Breath of the Wild Mario Odyssey rip-off game.
Yeah. Which was a Stadia exclusive. Well, actually, isn't actually on Stadia. It was meant to be a Stadia exclusive. Someone from, I don't know, Stadia source of what tweeted the developers like, what happened is like the deal fell through. PlayStation and Epic like approached us, so we've signed a deal with PlayStation and Epic. So it's coming to PS4, PS5, and Epic Games Store. Sort of thing. But yeah, I was like, when I seen the trailer, I was like, I've seen this before. I thought it was Alba originally, and then I seen the Stadia stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, that's where I've seen it before. Yeah, so not coming to Stadia now, and it's now exclusive to PlayStation and Epic. So
R.I.P. the Stadia.
Rip. F's in the chat.
Yeah. Then we got Uncharted Legacy of Thieves, which is a remaster of 4 and Lost Legacy.
Which, of course, they will charge you for because it's Sony. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just literally a remaster of the games of the 2 games that are in the 4 engine.
Yeah, 4 and Lost Legacy bundled together, coming to
so
PS5 and
PS3 or PS4 games?
PS4 games.
Oh, so not even that old.
No, you can play them. You can play the PS4 versions on your PS5. They are pre-PS4 Pro, I think. So they will probably get some upgrades, which they haven't got yet. But still, like, it's another one of those things. Like, if they're going to charge you for a remaster, then cool. But if you haven't played them, there is much cheaper ways. I think even At least 4, I think, is in the PlayStation Plus collection.
Yeah, it is.
So, like, yeah. Again, I like those games. I have the limited edition versions of them, so I won't be buying them again. It's fine.
And going to PC as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
which was annoyed a lot of people when I loved it. The tiers were great. So moving on, let's
There.
get to some CG trailers, Chris. What's next?
Then we got Wolverine.
Yeah, people. So right, so what they showed, Craig, was literally a 3
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Like, right. So it annoys the F out of me because every time I see a Xbox trailer that's the same, it's criticised. Every single time they do it for Sony because it's Insomniac, so it's going to be good. You're like, you've seen nothing of the game. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Cool. They announced it. Brilliant. 3 years it will come out.
Yeah, because they also obviously were going to
Yeah.
because Spider-Man 2, didn't they?
Yeah,
So
which they at
you'd
least
imagine
they showed like some concept for, and they've done 2 games previously, so you can be like, that's exciting that they've announced it. And didn't I give that 23 date?
Yeah, 2023.
Yeah,
you
so
know.
announced so early.
Wolverine would be like
24 maybe,
2024,
if you're lucky.
yeah.
I know it's Insomniac, you pump games out and stuff, but
Mm.
just it felt like standard Sony pandering to announce 2 games that aren't coming out for at least 2 years just randomly. But there you go. I presume you disagree with me, Chris.
No, it's just obviously out of there was 18 games and only 1, 2, 3 were CGI trailers though. So
So that's what, 15% of them.
yeah, yeah. But it's like going like, where's the gameplay? That like nearly everything had gameplay.
So
shown.
right, did Gran Turismo have gameplay? Or was that just like?
Yes. Yeah,
Was
and
it
probably they
menus?
showed you how to do like the single player and like sort of thing, how you can like upgrade your car and
Okay.
all that, and buy your used car and do racing.
So what did they show next, Chris?
That was Gran Turismo after Wolverine and it's Spider-Man 2 after Gran Turismo.
Cool. And what after that?
Finished with God of War Ragnarok.
Cool. So Sony's actual home studios. How many games did they show?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And how many were CG trailers?
2.
And how many are coming out this year?
None.
How many are coming out at the start of next year?
2.
Which are those 2?
Uncharted Legacy of Thieves and
Oh, okay.
Gran Turismo
the
March.
remasters. Okay.
so including the remasters. That's kind of
So that's my
those numbers up.
So as we go into our opinions, that's my problem with this presentation. So we've got they've announced games that are coming out sooner. You've got Horizon we've barely seen. Could have showed some
Yeah,
more
I
of
guess
that.
because they had the state of play for that.
Yeah, but they could have
Yeah,
shown.
I'm guessing that's why it wasn't here.
They showed definitely 800 times.
Yeah,
Chris.
that's the only
So-
problem. Like my argument is, like, oh, we've seen it, but then we've seen Deathloop again. So
Yeah, like my big problem with Sony, and I bear in mind I have a PlayStation 5 as well, so like you can call me a fanboy of anything you want, but I own all the consoles and I moan about them all. Like my biggest problem with Sony is always the free pass they get for announcing games years in advance, and it's like, cool. Like it would have been so much cooler to have seen gameplay for Wolverine in a year's time. Like, am I wrong? They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't need to have Spider-Man 2, Wolverine, and Ragnarok in this presentation. They could have taken the Insomniac. I would have taken both the Insomniac games out, and you would have lost nothing. You would have lost absolutely nothing. And like Ragnarok looks really cool. Really excited for that game. That'll be a prime game of the year contender for next year. I think the progression of the characters and the character design is going to be great. You know the gameplay is going to be fantastic because it's God of War. So that's pretty exciting.
we
And
found out they did like a mini interview thing afterwards
They
with Sid. Corey isn't actually the director; he's working on a new project.
Yeah.
So obviously Santa Monica has got another game in the works as well. So
yeah, and that's what
found, like,
Sony are
those
doing.
in-
Which they've been once the main game comes out, they put like a second team on the second game, which I think is what they did with Miles Morales. I think.
yeah, because the Miles team are doing Wolverine, and I presume it's the Ratchet team. Then are doing Spider-Man 2. We found that out. So.
Yeah. So that's my opinion overall. I thought it was an okay showcase. I thought there was stuff there that I'm excited for, but there's just too much stuff that gets shown too early, and it's nothing content. Like for stuff that I'm gonna play, like I'll play Gran Turismo next year. I'll probably play God of War, and nothing else is coming out next year that interests me at all. So
Not Horizon. Or
as they
what
showed,
show?
yeah, what they showed.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, is what it is. Obviously, let's go to Craig because Craig's going to be just as positive as I am. I'm sure, maybe more positive.
I'm probably more positive. I thought it was okay. I thought it was quite a fun show. I like the fact it was only 40 minutes long as well, so it didn't drag on at all. Like Dave said, it's that thing about not showing stuff that's coming soon. This would probably be the biggest negative. I always get more excited for stuff that I'm going to be playing in like the next 6 months or whatever, as opposed to, even on the Xbox side of thing, I'm more excited for things that's coming next year as opposed to like Avowed and Hellblade that we know isn't going to be coming for a long, long time. I know it's kind of the meme that I play a lot of indie games now, but I didn't think they showed much indie stuff, which was a bit disappointing as well.
They sort of said that sort of like thing in the blog is, this is a showcase. We're going to look at the PlayStation studios and like big partners, which I guess is like Square with Forspoken sort of thing. That's my disappointment. I thought we would have seen more what the other PlayStation studios were, because really we've seen Insomniac, Panoply, and Santa Monica. So it makes you go, well, what's Naughty Dog doing? What's Bend doing? What's like the one they just bought, Fire Spirit or whatever they're called, doing? What's the free studios out there funding, don't own but are funding, what are they doing and stuff? It's like they got all these studios. I think Herman Hulse did an interview where they had 25 games in development, and at the time we would have known Ratchet, Horizon, Gran Turismo, and God of War. So it's like, what's the other?
The problem with what you're saying there, though, Chris, is we say about how not just announcing stuff that's been coming in 4 years' time.
Yeah,
a lot of that I'd imagine is quite a way down.
I guess it goes back to like, it's like, oh right, Ben could announce. There was a rumor of a Men in Black game, so like Ben could announce Men in Black, but okay, that's what Ben's doing. That's 21 of the that's 5 of the 25 games we know of. But if it's not coming to like 2024. Is there a point of knowing that they're doing a Men in Black game? No,
they must have some indie game like partners, or even just cross-platform stuff that they.
Yeah, they got some stuff next year which they could have shown. Like, we haven't seen Little Devil Inside for a while. We haven't seen Goodbye Volcano High for a while. That's like 2 off the top of my head.
Solar Ash, Stray could have been shown.
Yeah, well, Solar Ash is like literally a month away, so I didn't count that.
Nice. So I suppose, Chris, we'll end with you. What's your opinion of that whole showcase?
It's started off well, showing Knights of remake or announcing that. Then I thought it was a bit meh. It's like, I don't need to see GTA 5. I don't need to see Guardians of the Galaxy again and stuff like that. I guess you got these partnerships of third party and stuff like that. If you're Square, I'm like, well, yeah, I want Guardians in there as well, along with Forspoken. I want to show both games off, sort of thing.
Especially as Guardians is coming so soon as well.
Yeah,
they want to try and get hype for that, don't they?
Yeah, so I can understand Square on that, and then obviously we ended on the PlayStation Studios games. Again, the CGI of the Wolverine thing. It's cool that we're getting more of the Marvel universe, and Insomniac are building this sort of universe and stuff. Like, after Spider-Man 2 in 2026, could we see a Daredevil game or something? Continue along with that. God of War looked really good. I think that's sort of like was the thing that like the big ending, which obviously that's what and that looked good. It's just there was no date, even if they gave it like full 2020.
Yeah, that was strange. Because in that blog post, when they delayed it, they said they were delaying it into next year. And then they gave nothing.
I thought they would have done.
That screams 2023 to me. If they're not giving anything.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what PlayStation does. It's what they did with the whole PS4 gen. It's what people forget, is they would just delay games like all the time. I think
it's that thing of announcing them too soon and then trying to
100%. Yeah, there's no need to show. There's no need to show Ragnarok when they showed the trailer, and well, if you're going to do it, why have the date on it? You know what I mean? But there we go. That is PlayStation Showcase. Don't worry, next week we'll be back to talking about Xbox. We won't have to talk about bloody PlayStation anymore. So yeah, that's the show. Thank you for watching. If you like us, you know where the socials are. Drop a like, drop a subscribe, and we will see you all next week. Goodbye.
Bye.